I'm really on a parade right now. I'm praising just about everything that we've seen on WWE. I'm leaving the negative stuff out, obviously. There's a couple things I could pinpoint and bash here and there, but I want to focus on the things that I like and the things that I've been, really thoroughly enjoying. And one of those things is Gunther and The Miz. You guys can say whatever you want about The Miz. I used to kind of feel cringy towards the bad guy role that he plays, or I would feel awkward that he's as good as he's gotten, or I just felt some kind of weird way, right? And I'm talking about years and years and years ago, not right now. I'm talking about a long time ago. I can say in 2023, bro, that that's it. This guy has been in WWE for so long. I know he's a 2-time Grand Slam champion, and he has all the accolades to back up the fact that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Not just the accolades, though, man. The mic work, the crowd control, going with the flow, the improvisation in the matches. He is not the prototype, right, of a WWE superstar like a Drew McIntyre, that looks like a bodybuilding monster, right? No, he's not that kind of superstar that imposes, he has that figure, but he is the perfect entertainer. And for whatever reason, some of these pro wrestlers, and it happens a lot with the guys in AEW, and I'm sorry for name dropping AEW here in a negative, kind of shady way. I'm sorry, but I just don't get this whole, I don't know if they do it to rub people the wrong way or to play it into the story, but this idea that you don't want to be considered a sports entertainer because it's Vince McMahon's way of you're a pro wrestler. Look, bro, stop trying to act like this is combat sports. Stop trying to act I'm not saying you're not a badass. I'm not saying you can't be tough. You could be tough. You got to be tough to want to go out there and want to get your ass whooped for entertainment. All right, you got to be a tough dude for that. Not everyone is super ultra tough, and a lot of people are playing tough guys, right? But sports entertainment, the word says it all. It's sports because there's a lot of athleticism involved here, and it's entertainment because it's a scripted TV show. At the end of the day, you could have John Moxley bleed, right, a gallon of blood, but that doesn't make it any much more realer. It was still something that was coordinated backstage between producers and the people involved. So get over it. Let's talk about The Miz and Gunther here, which is what this segment is all about. The Miz has brought his A game against guys like LA Knight, against guys like Gunther, because he is capable, not just capable, but he is that dude. He is just a Swiss Army knife. He could be the comedian. He could be the funny guy with Maurice, with the big balls and the little balls and the little storyline with that. That's going to make you laugh. That's going to make you, you got what I'm saying? And he could also be that cheating, conniving, fearless competitor. Or he could be a tutor, right? For a protege, like he did for Bryan Danielson, like he did for a little bit for Tommaso Ciampa, right? So this guy, the Swiss Army of WWE, they have him everywhere doing anything. And the best part about The Miz is that this guy goes out there with the microphone. All he has to do is flip that W upside down, scream a little bit, put that intense face you see in that picture, and you're listening. That's all he has to do. And Gunther, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. This guy has been on the rise for a hot minute. He didn't really come up in the rankings of WWE. Now, he was in NXT UK. He was in NXT after NXT UK closed down. I get all that. He is a somewhat of a WWE product because of their system, but he created a name for himself in Europe before showing up to WWE, where he was a heavy dude, right? So Gunther, being the polar opposite, being the pro wrestler, being the man's man, where, this guy is the ring general. He really owns up and lives to that nickname moniker. putting him up against The Miz has brought out the best in him. You know, the promo that he cut saying, you know, The Miz is good. I respect what he's done, but now I've beaten him. You know, he's great, but not great enough to beat me. You know, pretty much cementing Gunther as one of the greatest intercontinental champions of all time, and wanting to kind of visualize Gunther as the Roman Reigns of the mid-card division. So let's see what Brian is saying, because I know he's adding to the point. He's adding some good stuff here. He said, let's get one thing straight. There is no such thing as a pro wrestler without sports entertainer. If you remove the sports entertainment part from pro wrestling, all there is grapple wrestling. And none of those AEW clowns actual grapplers. And you know what I'm saying? And that's 100% a valid point. And especially in this conversation where we're talking about a guy who is a great grappler, a guy who is a great pro wrestler from what we've seen, especially for his size. Gunther is as simple as it gets when it comes to the ring, but it's just enough. And then you add the WWE element to his game. He's better than ever in terms of characterization. He's better than ever in terms of, you know, just what he wants to send as a message on the microphone. You pair that up with The Miz, and bro, boom, you got magic, which is what they're cooking right now. The Miz says, you know, Gunther, you're looking for your next opponent. Look no further. I'm here. He's trying to make a case in point for that. I don't think he's going to win the belt, but I just love to see the dynamic here because, again, like what Brian said, you can't have pro wrestling without the sports entertainer stuff. And you know what? Someone commented on one of my AEW videos when I was talking about the DLC and actually got their panties caught up in a bunch, and I ruffled their feathers. And I know you know who you are, especially if you're watching this video and you're this deep into the segment here. But he kind of called me out for calling them a superstar. No, that's WWE. These are not superstars. They're pro wrestlers. Oh my God, how do you get butthurt about being called a superstar? You know, for someone to consider you a superstar, for a kid to buy your toy, for a grown man to wear your shirt, dude, that makes you a superstar. That makes you awesome. That makes you, you know, a celebrity in that world. I would love to be called a superstar. I would love to be called, you know, something in that realm. A sports entertainer. Call me a YouTube entertainer. I don't care. That's not gonna. You don't have to call me. Oh, you're a content creator. You're a social media content creator. You know, I don't get butthurt about those things. Why do these guys that want to put up these acts want to get butthurt about these things? But perfect example is WWE has made it work. If you give into the system, right? A lot of people got mad. Oh, they changed his name from what was his name? Walter. They changed Walter to Gunther. You know, and everybody was getting mad. And come on, look at how far he's come along with his new and improved version. And I'm not just talking about looks and his physique, because he's obviously in the best shape he's ever been. I'm talking about just his personality. And The Miz, man, credit and shout out to The Miz. Love what Mike The Miz has done. I love that Gunther has called him Mike, and they've gotten personal a little bit. And I'm excited to see where this story goes. NBA champs, not world champs. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's that conversation all over again, and I just don't get it, bro. I would love to be called a world champion. I would love to be called an NBA champion. I would love to be called a superstar. And it doesn't take away from what you truly are. At the end of the day, you're an entertainer. Even sports, right? Like football, baseball, basketball. Some guys are celebrities, others are just flat out athletes, and that's understandable. But at the end of the day, every single one of them are entertainers. They are all entertainers. You know why? Because they, even MMA and boxing, they're entertainers. Because to get you to buy the fight, to get you to watch these things, you got to get into the storylines and the rivalries, and they are on the stage for our entertainment. All right, so that's my story. That's why I love this feud. It's the perfect example of both worlds colliding, and I know the Miz is more than likely not going to beat Gunther, but my goodness, do I want to see them face off at least one more time. Give it to me one more time, even if it's at the Royal Rumble. Imagine the Royal Rumble. I'm thinking about it after all the other segments that I said. Imagine Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, and the Miz, right? And then for the U.S. title, Logan Paul versus I don't know who. I really don't know. Santos Escobar maybe, because he's on a run too. So like, give us these matches, man. Give us these matches. Miz versus Gunther 2. I need it in my life. What do you guys think about the Miz? What do you guys think about Gunther? Have you been enjoying this feud? I know I put them over. I know I'm talking about it in this high regard because I truly feel that way, bro. I think it's time we just put all the naysayers to rest. The Miz is a valid future Hall of Famer.